Hello and welcome to 2020 Korea Week, hosted by the Korean American Association of Greater New York. My name is Eri Kim and I am the VP of Communications here at CAGNY, and we're pleased to open the first day of 2020 Korea Week, a virtual celebration of Korean tradition, heritage, media, and culture. We have a lot of exciting programs coming up, so please tune in and join us as we celebrate all things Korean American. Thanks for tuning in.
Hello everyone, my name is Charles Yoon. I am the president of the Korean American Association of Greater New York. Welcome to Korea Week. As you may know, CAGNY is a representative organization representing the interests of approximately 500,000 Korean Americans in the New York metro area. We have been in the forefront, along with many other community organizations, in addressing the various community needs which have arisen in connection with the pandemic. We have been in the forefront with the organizations in supplying much needed PPE to hospitals, to veterans homes, to nursing homes, and to community organizations. We have also been active in community relations, especially with the Black community. We have also been helping those who are the most in need. We just launched a program to help thousands of families who are not eligible to get government assistance, and we will be supplying food on a regular basis for a period of 5 months to thousands of families with the help and participation of other Korean community organizations and individual donors. It's important for our community to be united in our efforts. It is important, therefore, for us to participate in the census, and CAGNY is proud to have joined up with the many Korean American organizations in promoting. And I wish everyone a happy Chuseok. Oh, and also, don't forget to vote. Thank you.
한인 덕후 여러분 안녕하세요. 반갑습니다. 먼저 우리의 고유 명절인 한가위를 맞이하여 2020년 코리아 위크 행사를 개최하게 되어 기쁘게 생각합니다. 올해는 코로나 사태로 인해 매년 개최하던 코리안 프레이드가 취소되어 대신 오늘부터 5일간 2020 코리아 위크 행사가 개최됩니다. 어려운 여건 하에서도 한국의 전통과 현대 문화를 아우르는 다양한 행사와 프로그램을 준비하느라 수고하신 뉴욕 한인의 찰수윤 회장님과 관계자 여러분에게 격려의 박수를 보냅니다. 1년 12달 365일 더도 말고 덜도 말고 한가위만 같아라 라는 말도 있습니다만, 추석은 추수기를 맞이하여 풍년을 축하하고 조상의 은덕을 기리며 제사를 지내고 이웃과 더불어 따뜻한 마음을 나누는 우리 민족의 최대 명절입니다. 금년은 예상치 못한 코로나 사태로 인해 예년과 같은 추석 분위기를 느끼기 어렵고 우리들의 마음도 많이 위축되어 있지만, 추석 명절과 이번 코리아 위크 행사를 계기로 심기일전하여 새롭게 허리띠를 졸라매고 코로나 사태가 초래한 난관을 함께 극복해 나가길 기대합니다. 특히 취약계층 동포와 타 민족을 돕기 위해 뉴욕 한인회가 주도하는 코로나19 사랑 나눔 릴레이 펀드 모금 캠페인은 이웃과 더불어 따뜻한 마음을 나누는 추석의 전통과도 부합되며, 이 기회를 빌어서 뉴욕 한인회와 독주가 여러분께 감사의 마음을 전합니다. 아무쪼록 우리 주위의 불우한 이웃들에게 온종의 손길과 희망의 메시지가 전달될 수 있도록 한인사회의 힘을 모아주실 것을 당부드립니다. 어려운 시기지만 우리 모두가 힘을 합칠 때 어떤 도전과 위기도 극복할 수 있으리라 믿으며, 한가위를 맞이하여 동포 여러분 가정에 행복과 건강이 늘 함께 하시기를 기원합니다. 감사합니다.
Hi, I'm Congresswoman Grace Meng from Queens, New York. From my family to yours, I want to wish you and the Korean American community a warm and joyous 2020 Korea Week. While we can't celebrate in person with festivities, friends, and food this year, I'm honored to address you all virtually. I want to thank Korean American Association of Greater New York President Charles Yoon for the opportunity to say a few words. We have much to celebrate this week, and I'm incredibly proud and honored to represent in Congress many Korean Americans who call Queens home. In Congress, I'm a staunch supporter of the U.S.-South Korea alliance, which is critical to international peace and stability. Born out of the ashes of the Korean War, the US and South Korea formed a military alliance to prevent another war on the Korean Peninsula. Since then, it has blossomed into a deep, multifaceted friendship that is grounded in shared values and norms. In this spirit, I'm proud to champion an initiative that would ensure the U.S. conclude an equitable 5-year cost-sharing agreement that permits U.S. military forces to be stationed in South Korea. I'm fighting to ensure we conclude a just agreement. I'm also working to ensure Korean Americans with families in North Korea can see their loved ones soon. While the Korean War is frozen in time, families remain separated by the brutal war. That's why I introduced the Divided Families Reunification Act, which would finally require State Department to prioritize this urgent issue. While my bill has passed the House, I hope the Senate will consider it in the future. With many Korean Americans and their families in North Korea approaching their 80s or 90s, we must move urgently. The strength of the alliance and well-being of Korean Americans will always be a top priority for me. Again, I want to wish you all a joyous 2020 Korea Week. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Lieutenant Governor Kathy Hochul. Annyeonghaseyo. It is an honor to celebrate the virtual Korea Week with the Friends of the Korean American community. We are so proud that so many Koreans have made New York State their home. Let me thank Charles Yoon and the board for putting this virtual program together and making this great tradition of celebrating Korean heritage continues. It is very admirable to see the influence that the Korean culture has had on a global scale through various industries like K-pop, K-cosmetics, technology, fashion, and food, and I'm very excited that we can celebrate the success and vibrancy of Korea through this event. These 6 months have been an unprecedented challenge for all of us, and I hope that we can find comfort and enjoyment through various programs that highlight Korea's unique culture. Best wishes and continued success, Kagni, and everyone celebrating.
This is New York City Comptroller Scott Stringer. I am thrilled to be here to celebrate the Korean American community in New York City. As we have all experienced, the COVID-19 pandemic has turned our world upside down. You have been on the front lines of this pandemic. You put yourselves at risk to help distribute census materials, food, and masks, and stepped up to help people in need during this pandemic and beyond. It is an example of New York City at its very best. And the fact that we cannot be together in person today doesn't dampen our spirit one bit. CAGNY has taken their program online this year and made it available for people to stream at home. 2020 Korea Week is a virtual celebration of Korean media, heritage, and culture. It features Korean cooking demonstrations, speaker events, and exciting performances that highlight Korea's unique culture. The history of New York City is not whole if we leave out the countless contributions of Korean Americans. It is a testament to the deep roots of the city's Korean community, which enriches all aspects of life here. I stand with you today and every day, and I look forward to marching in person with you next year.
여러분 안녕하십니까? John Liu입니다. Hello everyone, John Liu, New York State Senator here, proud to help kick off Korea Week 2020. 2020, a year in which so many things have happened, not the least of which has been this coronavirus pandemic affecting all of us worldwide and right here in New York. Normally, this time of the year, we'd be getting ready to walk down Midtown Manhattan and be part of the annual Korea Day parade as well as festivities on 32nd Street. But of course, this year is different, so we are doing this online. It is nonetheless an important and happy celebration of Korean heritage, culture, media, and of course, even food. We can enjoy food online as well nowadays. But the Korean community has been such an important part of really our survival, from having so many people in the medical and healthcare profession to transportation, food service workers, to teachers, to other essential personnel. The Korean American community has really stepped up in so many different ways, even as small business owners and individuals have hurt not only economically, but also suffered some tragedies. Our hearts and prayers continue to go to the families who have lost loved ones. But in the meantime, we are also moving on as best as we can. And next year, I know will be even more special as we come back to celebrate Korea Week in person. Have a wonderful time. 5 days of festivities today through October 3rd. Thank you to Haninhue for putting this event together, and especially to Charles Yoon and his team at the Korean American Association of Greater New York. 감사합니다.
안녕하세요. My name is Toby Stavisky, and I'm privileged to represent many of you in the New York State Senate. And I want to congratulate the members of CAGNY and Charles Yoon for continuing the celebration of Korean Week. Unfortunately, it has to be done virtually, but I've been to many of your events and marched down 6th Avenue with many of you to celebrate independence. But I'm glad that you're continuing the rich cultural tradition, especially so that young people can continue to do this for many years to come, and whether it be cooking demonstrations or performances or events, however you decide to celebrate. I wish you continued success, and let us hope that next year, I know things will be better and we'll be able to do it in person. 감사합니다.
Hello everyone, this is Assemblyman Ron Kim. I want to thank Charles Yoon, the Korean American Association of Greater New York, the board members, the staff, all the volunteers of not giving up on this year's Korean parade, and instead celebrating the entire week to talk about and embrace Korean culture by taking this opportunity to spend the entire week to display the impact of Korean products, pop culture, and the impact that Koreans and Korean Americans have around the world, from movies like The Parasite to music groups like BTS, to the impact of cosmetic companies in the world. The Korean and the Korean Americans have such a tremendous impact in shaping the culture and the pop culture of our world. So I want to again congratulate CAGNY. I know that times are extremely tough. So many of our seniors, so many of our small business owners and workers are struggling right now. They can't pay their rent. They can't put food on the table. They're on the verge of losing their homes. We see so many of these stories coming through our office every single day. We are going to work hard to make sure that whether it be from the federal government or the local and state government, we will find enough revenue and money to take care of the neediest and the most struggling members of our community. But this week, it's an opportunity for all of us to come together and celebrate our heritage, our Korean American background, and I'm so glad to be fully supportive of CAGNY and the efforts to execute this entire week to celebrate the Korean American culture. Thank you so much.
I'm Assemblyman Ed Braunstein. I represent the neighborhoods in Northeast Queens of Bayside, Whitestone, Douglaston, Little Neck, parts of Flushing, and parts of Floral Park. I want to start by thanking Charles Yoon and everyone from CAGNY for giving me the opportunity to say a few words here at the beginning of Korea Week 2020. As many of you know, I represent a large Korean American population in the neighborhoods I represent in Northeast Queens. And I have seen firsthand the tremendous contributions that community has made to our city, state, and country. I appreciate the fact that despite the fact that we cannot march in the parade this year, CAGNY is still giving us an opportunity to celebrate the Korean American community and its tremendous culture through this virtual event. I look forward to tuning in to Korea Week 2020, and I also look forward to seeing everybody back out on 6th Avenue next year so we can continue the proud tradition of the Korea Day Parade. Thank you very much.
안녕하십니까. This is your Queensborough President, Sharon Lee, and I am delighted to join you here for CAGNY's 2020 Korea Week. You know, in light of the ongoing global pandemic, I'd like to express a special thanks to CAGNY and to all the co-sponsors, the staff, the volunteers, for continuing this very important tradition of this celebration of our heritage, our culture, our history, our foods, our arts, our talent, our pride. And so to do so virtually is a testament to our innovation and our resilience as a community and as a people. And so as we celebrate this week, I must ask of you to do just two things. Two of the most important and high impact things that you can do for the future of our generation. Number one, get counted in the census. my2020census.gov. It only takes 10 minutes of your time, and it will shape our next 10 years for funding for our schools, our hospitals, our roads and bridges, to even our representation in Congress. And so if you haven't done so already, please do so tonight. my2020census.gov. And the second thing I will ask of you is to make your plan to vote. If you're not registered to vote, we can still register by October 9 here in the state of New York. And here in New York, we vote between October 24th through November 3rd. And so visit vote.nyc to figure out where to vote or how to vote, whether it's mail-in or in person. And so those are the two things I humbly but urgently ask of you to do. Get counted in the census and vote, like our lives and our futures depend on it, because they do. And so with that, thank you again, and I wish you and your family a healthy, a happy 추석. 건강하고 즐거운 한가위 보름 되시기 바랍니다. Happy 추석.
Hi, Melinda Katz here, District Attorney of Queens County, and someone who truly values her relationship with KAAG. It has been an amazing year here in the United States and across the world. And we've all faced a lot of challenges as we make it to this day. But when you have organizations like KAAG, like the President Charles Yoon, like all the members of this great organization, it makes it so that people know there's places they can go to, that there are not-for-profits and community groups that they can turn to when they need assistance. And your organization has always been so great in working with our different community groups and with the Borough of Queens County. So this is our opportunity to thank you. Even though there's no parade, we wish everyone a healthy and a safe Chuseok. Anyway, I also would like to remind you that the census is coming up. It is really important that everyone in Queens County be registered and file for their census. If we don't have accurate numbers, we don't get the right amount for education, for healthcare, for our streets, for all the things that make Queens the great county that it is. But for today, let me congratulate KAAG. Let me congratulate the Korean community for all that it has done for our great county of Queens. You've truly been partners. We've truly been through a lot together, and we are now coming out the other side. So to all of you that are at this event, to all of you celebrating, congratulations. And I look forward to a great, great time in the future where we can all get together in person, shake hands, and see each other. Congratulations.
Hi, I'm City Council Member Peter Koo. I would like to congratulate the Korean American Association of Greater New York on the successful implementation of 2020 Korea Week. This is a wonderful opportunity to participate in the virtual celebration of Korean media, heritage, and culture that spanning across 5 days. We are excited to samples of Korean cooking demonstrations, speaking engagements, and exciting performances that highlight Korea's unique culture. The pandemic may have kept us from the full Korean Day parade this year, but it cannot stop us from celebrating our heritage together. Thank you for your tremendous contributions to the city of New York.
Hi there, I'm City Council Member Keith Powers, and I am proud to represent the 4th Council District, which represents Koreatown, and I'm very honored to be joining you here for a celebration of Korea Week. I want to thank CAGNY for all their ongoing work on behalf of my community and also the entire city. They're such great partners to me, and I'm really proud of the work that they've been doing over the past year. And I know that this is a little bit different than normal years, but it's still a great way to get together to celebrate the heritage and culture of the Korean community here in New York City. So I want to say congratulations, thank you, and I do hope we'll be able to see each other sometime in the near future. Until then, thank you for all you're doing, and I hope you enjoy it.
Hi, my name is Linda Lee. I'm the president and CEO of KCS, Korean Community Services, here in New York City. And we are very excited that Korean American Association of Greater New York will be hosting Korea Week next week, starting on Tuesday, September 29th. And especially during this hard time, during COVID, it's such a wonderful opportunity for us to celebrate the strength and resilience of the Korean community through the culture and the food and the cooking, and also the history of the Korean community here in New York. So we are very excited to participate as well as support this event during the week. And we look forward to celebrating all of the strengths of our community that have helped us stay resilient throughout COVID-19.
Congratulations to CAGNY for hosting Korean Week and welcomes all of you to this meaningful event. I hope that this event will help the Korean American community become widely known and will establish itself as a group contributing to American society. Thank you so much.
Hello, this is Jihae Fisher, Executive Director at the Korean American Family Service Center, also known as KFSC. Congratulations to Korean American Association of Greater New York for hosting 2020 Korea Week, a virtual celebration of Korean heritage, media, and culture. CAGNY has long advocated for the rights and interests of Koreans living in the Greater New York area. As an organization that serves Korean Americans who are affected by domestic violence and sexual assault, we are so proud to be a part of this celebration of Korea and its unique culture hosted by CAGNY. I hope everyone, all generations and all races, enjoys the wonderful events that are planned during the 2020 Korea Week and feels empowered by coming together as a community during this unprecedented time. Thank you.
2020 코리아 위크의 개최를 축하합니다. 이번에 코비드-19으로 인해서 코리안 퍼레이드를 할 수 없어서 아쉽다라고 생각했었는데요. 이렇게 다양한 주제로 우리 대한민국을 알릴 수 있는 행사를 계획하신 것 정말 큰 박수를 보냅니다. 매일 다양한 분야의 주제로 행사를 하는 것이 얼마나 많은 준비와 정성이 들어갔을까 생각하면서 주최하시는 우리 뉴욕 한인회와 관계자분들께도 격려와 감사의 마음을 전합니다. 개막식으로부터 마지막 날까지 성공적인 행사가 되기를 퀸즈 YWCA도 함께하면서 응원하겠습니다. 축하드립니다.
Hi everyone, I'm Gene Kang, the president of the Korean American Lawyers Association of Greater New York, also known as KLAGNY. I'd like to first congratulate Charles and CAGNY for setting up this great virtual program. It's just one of the many great things that CAGNY has done to lead the Korean American community through the past several months, during which time obviously our community was one of the hardest hit by the pandemic as well as from social unrest. We at KLAGNY represent the lawyers in the Korean American community, and I'm also proud of how our members responded when the community was in need. During the pandemic, KLAGNY partnered with CASE on a pro bono hotline where our members provided free legal consultations for over 1,000 people. Our members stepped up to help translate law-related COVID-19 resources into Korean, and KLAGNY donated over $10,000 to various causes to help those distressed by the pandemic. Now, with that said, we hope to continue to be a resource to the community in any way that we can. I'd like to let everyone know that KLAGNY's regular pro bono clinic continues to be active and provides free legal consultations on the first Tuesday of every month at 7 o'clock p.m. But due to the pandemic, we've actually gone completely virtual for the time being. To contact the Pro Bono Clinic on the next date, which is October 6th, please dial 1-888-CALAGNY, extension 1, or you can email us at calagny.probono@gmail.com. If you're a law student or an attorney, please be on the lookout for announcements regarding our annual mentorship program, which connects younger attorneys with more senior mentors, and that will be starting again for the year very soon, as well as our annual Law Student Scholarship, through which we will be giving out $10,000 in scholarship funds and which we will start accepting applications for very shortly. So please check out www.calagny.org, which will have updated details in the coming weeks, as well as information on all our other programs. Thank you again to Charles and CAGNY for all that you do and for inviting us to be a part of this program. Stay well, everyone.
Hello, my name is Jenny Kim. I'm the National President of Korean American Coalition, also known as KAC. KAC is a nonprofit founded in Los Angeles in 1983, and our mission is to further the civil rights of all Korean Americans in the US. Today, I'm here to talk to you about a very exciting gathering of Korean American leaders and organizations. We have started a Korean American Vote Task Force specifically to focus on the participation of Korean American community members in the 2020 census, as well as voter turnout and voter engagement for the presidential election on November 3rd. We have a new website that we have launched jointly with a few other Korean American organizations called www.kavote.org. The website has a lot of information in English and Korean about census, how to participate in it, as well as checking to make sure you're registered to vote. If you're not, to register to vote and to get important date information that varies state to state on voter participation. Today, we're hoping that all Korean Americans who are eligible to vote is registered to vote, and to make sure that you are aware of voting laws in your own areas and participate. The Korean American Vote Task Force is generously funded by Neil Foundation. With their support, we are able to do a lot of community outreach via advertisement and community engagement. As a parent with young children, I urge you to participate in your civic duty as US citizens and to register to vote and to vote on November 3rd this year. Thank you very much.
Hello, my name is Abraham Kim. I am the Executive Director at the Council of Korean Americans. Happy Chuseok to everyone. We're so happy to be a part of CAGNY's celebration this year. I know it's an unusual time because it's COVID-19 and we're all in our homes, but it doesn't mean we can't celebrate as a community. And so we are proud to be standing with CAGNY, who is, as an organization, is on the front lines helping the Korean American community here in the greater New York City and New York State area. We've been working with CAGNY for many months on many different areas, and we're so proud and also honored to work with an organization that is not only has the vision to help the community during this very difficult time, but also just the innovation of helping our community, not only helping the economically suffering and those who are in need during this COVID-19 situation, but also raising our voice as a community during this very political time where census is going on, where our elections are coming up, as well as more and more Korean Americans are getting involved in political and policy roles. This week I also know that CAGNY is doing some wonderful things to promote Korean food, Korean culture, and singing, and you know, we are all just so proud of how Korean culture has bloomed, not only here in the New York City area, but all over the country and all over the world. And an opportunity to support that, an opportunity to promote that. We are so honored to be a part of that festivities. And finally, I just want to thank the president, Charles Yoon, who's also a member of CKA, but also his leadership and also the work that he's doing to set the future of this organization and for the Korean American community in this region. So thank you to him, to the organization of CAGNY, to the Korean American community of the greater New York area. So happy Chuseok, and I hope all of you enjoy a wonderful season.
That concludes the opening ceremony of 2020 Korea Week, hosted by the Korean American Association of Greater New York. Special thank you to our elected officials and Korean American community leaders for extending their well wishes towards our organization and the success of the 2020 Korea Week virtual event. Today, we have a couple more events lined up. We have K-Tradition, which will feature local performers and Sorami's World Music Ensemble as they show us traditional Korean music performances. After that, we have K-Art, a special digital art exhibition showcasing artworks done by local Korean American artists. On Wednesday, September 30th, we will have a series of Korean cooking demonstrations, and these chefs will show you how to make dishes like galbichim, kimchi fried rice, and bulgogi, as well as an introduction to essential ingredients for Korean cooking. On Thursday, October 1st, we have K-pop journalism with Tamar Herman, K-pop journalist and author, as we discuss the globalization of K-pop, fandom culture, and her latest book, BTS, Blood, Sweat, and Tears. After that, we will have a Cooking for Chuseok demonstration with 2 restaurants from 32nd Street in Koreatown, and they will show us how to prepare a table for Chuseok, or Korean Thanksgiving. That will be followed by K-pop performances by the students of KCC. On Friday, October 2nd, we will have a discussion on the global future of Korean cuisine. That will be followed by K-Beauty with Cosette Shine as they show us a demonstration of Korean beauty products. After that, we have K-Movie, a special interview with the director of Jeronimo, The Untold Tales of Koreans in Cuba, the director Joseph Chun, and we are going to discuss the diaspora, diasporic identities, and the future of Korea. That will be followed by K-pop performances by the students of Born Star, so please tune in for that. And on Saturday, the last day of 2020 Korea Week, we have a K-Trot competition where contestants will compete for a first place prize of $1,000. You heard that right, folks, $1,000. The second place winner of the competition will win $500, and the third place winner will receive $300. Thank you for tuning in today. We hope you stick around and tune in for all the exciting programs we have going on this week. And we thank you at CAGNY for your support. Thanks for tuning in, and please visit our website, nykorean.org, to learn more about the great work that we do and to stay updated with what we have prepared for this week. Thank you.